Wow, guys. Winter dumped on us. Came about 4 weeks earlier than normal for this area. But we're just getting the driveway all cleaned up. Bottom of the driveway for the plow. Hopefully he will come. So this will be the second time we're getting plowed out already. We've had 2 snowstorms back to back. First time he came down, when he was plowing his way out, he ripped out a culvert that was going through the road. So I've phoned the roads about that, and they've decided to do nothing about it, which is kind of typical for this area. So we're hoping at least when he plows back in, that it'll smooth over where the culvert goes, and hopefully in spring they can come out and get that fixed really quick. It's been a while. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're old blood, it's good to see you again. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This last couple of years have really kicked us in the teeth, especially last winter. You know, we had problems with lack of insulation. I did the ceiling wrong. I didn't have the right ventilation done, cut out. I've built houses before, but it's always been with engineered rafters, and you just insulate, and then you've got the ventilation going. I've done a house with cathedral ceilings before, but it was spray foamed. So with spray foam, you don't need the ventilation because it works as a barrier on its own. So when I was doing this place, I thought the ceiling would just act more like a wall, and that was, really dumb. And it didn't work out at all. So anyways, last winter was super tough. Just spent it, cleaning mold off the walls, insulating, ripping stuff out, drilling holes, and installing the proper panels in between the insulation and the plywood to keep the air drafts going through. I ripped the peak off of the roof and installed the proper venting that goes under the peak shingles, and then redid that. So now we have ventilation coming, so we won't have that problem again. So anyways, that was tough. It was a hard lesson to learn. Honestly, I wasn't sure I was ever going to hit record again. It just last winter kicked our butts, and we weren't prepared. And I didn't really do enough studying, looking into what I was doing. And it was a humbling experience, but you know what? We just, we pick up and we get back on the horse, and further jobs that we do, we just spend a little bit more time researching before doing it. But yeah, so for anyone who's new here, and anyone who's, old blood that wants a little walk down memory lane, I'm going to do a bit of a video because I've had a lot of people ask, like, where are you from? How did you get here? What are you guys doing off grid? What kind of is the main focus and drive for that? So I'm going to give this first episode back a walk down memory lane and tell you guys how we got here. So let's start at the beginning. My name's Jonathan Pemberton. One morning back when I was still living in Ontario, I woke up and I told my mom one morning that I was moving to Alberta and I was moving to Banff. And I was going to be leaving in a week. And just like that, I packed my hockey bag filled with pretty much everything I owned. And me and my brother Chris and my buddy Scott all hopped on a Greyhound. And we went 3 straight days rolling through Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and then we finally hit Alberta. That trip was 3 days nonstop, except for just to switch out bus drivers. So we'd have 45 minutes about every 12 hours or so where we'd get out, be able to stretch our legs for about 45 minutes and then back on. So that was a tough trip. It was a really tough trip. But after we got into Alberta, we punched right up into the mountains. And oh my gosh, Alberta is absolutely stunning. And those mountains are just like, hit you like a freight train. Just, you can't believe what you're looking at is real. So we all got jobs at this place called Buffalo Mountain Lodge. I was a woodsman, so I pretty much just split wood all day and then drove it around to all the chalets. And just for the people that were staying there would have wood for their fires. So the days we had off, we were just, up on the mountain snowboarding or going down to Canmore and dog sledding through the mountains, just really looking for adventure anywhere we could find it. But it wasn't too long before adventure found me, because a girl started working from Australia at Buffalo Mountain Lodge as a house cleaner. And, one thing led to another. Started seeing each other when we were out there. And it was all awesome until her visa ran out and she had to go back to Australia. So we kept in touch. It was like a couple months later. I had bought an airplane ticket. I followed her back out to Australia. So in Australia, we got married. We had our boys, Lachlan and Harrison. I was working for a tiling company. I was doing my apprenticeship through TAFE. Ooh, she's windy. I was doing my apprenticeship in TAFE, and I was just going around tiling houses and doing big commercial jobs for a bunch of medical buildings, which some of the jobs took like 6 months. It was such a big job. So I did that for a while until the 2008 financial crisis happened and people stopped renovating. So I got let go of my job and ended up going to school for nursing. And then for the next years, I was working as a nurse in a mental hospital for the government of Australia. But when I wasn't working, I was out there like searching for adventure there as well, just surfing, and went up to the Blue Mountains, and we're going into deep caves and pretty awesome stuff up there. And that was all great up until the hospital that I was working at. It was a government hospital. They decided that all the patients, they were going to move them to a group homes in the community. And so I didn't know what was, future held. So my wife and I had to have a real conversation about what we're going to do. So was it keep going up the nursing ladder, keep getting more education, go to a different hospital, try a different side of nursing, or, my wife really wanted to move back to Canada. She really enjoyed Banff, and, she just wanted a new perspective on life and, a new experience. So that's what we ended up doing with a bit of persuasion. I mean, I loved Australia, but with a bit of persuasion, we moved back to Canada, and didn't really know what we were going to do. So I went to school for arboriculture and started climbing trees with chainsaws for a living. And I was also doing some tiling. So I finished that program at college, and then started doing urban forestry because I was going to do my urban forestry degree and look at getting like a city job where you just basically plan out the landscape for how to get the city's canopy up to 25% or more, if you possibly can. That's the basis of that job, and what kind of trees can thrive in different environments like downtown areas, or what kind of structures can we engineer to prevent a tree dying from pretty much girdling roots, or like the heat from concrete killing a lot of species. So that was my main focus for a while. And then I also went to school for sustainable building and design, where we built this really cool place, Brancroft, that had a floating slab and a straw bale building. And we, what is it? It's like a kayak rental and a restaurant there. And that was a great experience. And all my time when I was going to school and have these businesses going, my wife and I, so we had our sons in Australia, we had our daughters in Canada. So we had Ella, Mia, and Ava. And as our kids were growing up, I started thinking about the degree that I was doing, and I started to think maybe city life wouldn't be us. So I started thinking more, like I was raised in the country, and I was thinking maybe that'd be best. We had 5 kids. I think it's just a better life when you've got, a big family. You've got more free time, space out there. You can live simpler, and you can do things for yourself. The food system is polluted, as you can imagine. Everything's polluted. So the more sustainable you are, we were like, so that looked pretty good to us. We really wanted to go down that route. So I quit the urban forestry program and kept focusing on doing arborist work, and also building, carpentry, landscaping, all that kind of stuff, until we could finally buy a place. And we did. We ended up buying 200 acres out in Atlantic Canada. And it's a beautiful property. It's all southwest facing. We own the peak of the mountain. It goes up about 700 feet from the bottom of our driveway to the top of our mountain. We called our mountain Spring Mountain because the whole mountain has springs all over it. And it closed the first day of spring too, which was nice, but 2 different meanings. Yeah, so that's how things started. First started to try to do a YouTube channel because I had a lot of passion for filming and photography, and just something that I love doing. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to build a log cabin. So I'm going to film that and, start a YouTube channel on my spare time doing that. So I started doing that. I started, my mom had 40 acres before we got our place. Then I started cutting a bunch of cedar trees, nice straight cedar trees off her property, and I was filming, the felling and peeling the bark off and getting them stacked. This was all late winter, early spring, and I was super stoked. It was awesome, and I was having so much fun filming it. But then when late spring came, and it was time to start notching and everything like that, poison ivy popped up everywhere, and I got it so bad. I mean, so bad everywhere. And I went to the hospital, and they're like, this is the worst we've ever seen it. I mean, I can't show you a picture of it because this channel or this episode would get taken down, but it was brutal. And so they had me on like 17 pills a day, antibiotics, steroids, all this kind of stuff to get better. So I was too freaked out to go back. I did not want to catch poison ivy again. Usually when you get it bad, every time you go near it, you get it just that bad again. So it looked like I had leprosy. So I had to move on, and all that hard work, I had to, leave it behind. But you know what? The show goes on. So I moved out here by myself, about 2,000 kilometers from home, and showed up, and I just had a couple hand tools and shovel and that, and cleared a lane up the mountain, and cleared a spot to build. And my transmission in my truck blew up the very first day I got here trying to back the trailer in. So I didn't want to wait, so I just kept clearing the land and started digging the foundation by hand. I ended up digging 20 holes, 4 feet deep, 2 feet diameter for the piers of the concrete sonotubes of the main part of the build. So I did that, and that took me about 2 to 3 weeks to dig all 20 holes, because this is not nice, easy sand digging. This is digging through hard clay and rocks. But anyways, I got it done, and after that I just started building up from there. I framed up the 6x6s, did the laminate beams, did the subfloor, built the walls, built the second floor, and did a gambrel roof, which was cool. I'd never done that before. It was hard, lonely, and the bugs were so bad. And when the bugs weren't bad, it was nighttime, and the coy wolves were coming around and surrounding the place all the time, very curious what I was up to. But you know what? It was an amazing experience just to be out here and just living in a rough way, but getting through. In the end, I was able to get the roof shingled and the cottage. I ran out of money, and I got it buttoned up. I screwed the board shut where the door was, and I wish I had a bit more money and I was able to get it house wrapped, but I didn't. I had to borrow some money to get back home. That's how tough it got. But I got back home to my wife and kids, and we made plans, and we moved out here the next summer to a house about 15 minutes away. And when we got here, I was just so burnt out from school and running businesses and just day-to-day life, that we decided just to take that summer off. And probably the best thing ever did. We just spent it hanging out at the beach, building sand castles, exploring, eating ice cream, just really taking a good couple month break, everyone together, and just easy going. It was great. So the next summer I showed up, and the plants had taken over all around. There was some vapor barrier that was sticking out, which was allowing rain to get in, and it rotted out some of the subfloor around the sides. So I had to cut out and remove the subfloor, put new stuff in. But before long, we were back on track, and we're out here. We installing a new deck on the back. We were putting in windows. We were doing the house wrap. We were getting things back on track. And that's when I started really filming and doing YouTube kind of from that point. I'd taken some pictures and documented a little bit, but that's when I decided that's what I want to do. And and that's kind of where you guys picked off in the beginning of this channel. The main plan now with the channel is I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to try to do it properly. I'm going to let you guys know more about us, our story, where we're coming from. So for all the new people, every Wednesday, I'm going to be kind of breaking down how we got to this point, and giving, a history of more of what got us here in the beginning. And then every Friday is going to be the video of kind of like the amount of work that we did or what we were focused on that week. And I think that's the best way to go about it for this channel in the future. Previously I was trying to film doing a certain thing and it was all about that, but some things can be finished in 2 or 3 days and some things can take 2 or 3 weeks. So the consistency of the videos wasn't going good at all, and I had projects all over the place, and so many projects I was starting and not even finishing, and it was really getting pretty tough. So that's like something that I'll touch up on is the chaos that I was kind of raining down with this channel and just on this homestead in general is, well, my doctor and I talked about a lot of stuff a couple years ago, just with things that were a struggle, and set me up with an appointment that literally felt like, yeah, took years. And with that appointment, I got assessed and I was diagnosed with ADHD, and essentially I started taking medication for it maybe about 2 months ago now. Honestly, it's been pretty great. It's really quieted down all the voices in my head and allowed me to focus on what's most important and yeah, really strategize and work my way through things rather than just waking up in pure chaos and just kind of like starting something and, you know, not finishing things. And I really think it's been a game changer. And with that, I think I'll be way more consistent with YouTube. And, you know, I apologize to all the old time people that have been with me since the beginning. The lack of consistency in this very long absence of not filming. So yeah, we're going to change things up and we're going to have a new plan. So we're just going to keep it simple, sustainable, real. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. If you've been here since day one, thank you so much for coming back. If you just hit subscribe 5 minutes ago, thank you guys so much. And I can't wait to see you guys on the next one, which will be Friday. All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye.